take the cap off the reservoir. Just make sure the coolant is not hot when you're doing this. And make sure there's no pressure in the coolant hoses. This is good. When replacing just a reservoir, you can use a coolant transfer pump and extract the coolant that way. You don't necessarily have to drain the entire coolant system. Remove this bolt right here. Use a 10mm socket. You can move that washer out of the way. Washer fluid reservoir out of the way. Disconnect the connector right here. Just push down on that tab and slide it off. You can use a screwdriver if you want to. Sometimes it's hard to push on these. And the wiring harness, just move this out of the clips. Just like that. Remove this hose clamp. Use some hose clamp pliers. Squeeze this, move it down. You can disconnect this hose, twist it a little bit. If you need to, you can use some hose pliers. And carefully slide that off. Just like that. There's 2 screws in the back here, one there and one there. Use a T25 to take those out. Grab the reservoir and slide it up. You can access the other hose right there, and we'll disconnect it right here. Just use some hose clamp pliers. Squeeze that hose clamp. The hose clamp's in a hard location to clamp, but if you twist it, you can get it in a better location. And it's easier to clamp like this. And slide it down. And again, you can use some hose pliers. Just twist it. Or even a pick. If you get a pick in there, just be careful not to rip the hose. Or stab the hose. There we go. Take the reservoir and put this hose on first. Line that up. Then we can move the clamp over. You kind of want it very similar. There's a little line at the top of the hose. That's about where you want that on the top of the reservoir. Move the clamp over. And that looks good right there. That's about how it was. Now route the hose in the same location. Slide the wires over. I'm not gonna secure the wires yet, but you can take this hose, line that up. Move the clamp down, just like that. And take the screws, put the screws back in. Tighten that down, and this one as well. Slide the wire conduit in position. Connect the connector, lock it down. Move the washer fluid filler neck in position, and put the bolt in. And snug it up. At this point, you're going to want to add coolant to the proper level. If you haven't drained the entire system, it won't be too much. Put the cap back on. It's always a good idea to run the car, get it nice and hot. Once it's run for about 10 minutes, shut the vehicle off, and when it cools, double check your level.